Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another review of Supergirl.
And Flash.
Well, it's still a Supergirl episode, but yes, it's crossover time, and what a good crossover it is. It's not like a super crazy crossover like later ones, but I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's fun to have a crossover with just two shows, not everything.
Yeah, or even if it is just two shows, to have it just be like, it's just one character. It's just one character, and because of that, we get to have a lot of nice little scenes with just Barry and Kara interacting. It's one thing that sadly is missing from a lot of future crossovers when these characters meet, is you just don't get those little moments, so it just doesn't feel like the heroes have much of a connection to each other. Like, you know, sure, we got Barry and Kara have a connection, and Barry and Oliver, but later heroes won't get that. Crossovers are just too big.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a really fun one. Like I said, a crossover can be fun without being super crazy. But hey, we had villains we love, because Livewire is a fun villain.
You know, we love a villain team-up.
I love a villain team-up, and I love Livewire. She's one of my favourite villains. She's one of the better parts of Season 1. Barry's great, crossover's great, and of course there's lots of good Cat Grant moments in this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She just likes naming celebrities.
There is so many name dropping in this show. Not just this episode, but seriously, this...
I know.
Not just Cat Grant, but everybody does it.
I mean, last time we saw her on, like, a real show.
I know, but still, you got, Livewire is like, oh, we're an evil Taylor Swift squad, and Cat Grant's mentioning, like, Bernie Sanders and somebody else, and Beyonce, and then, like, Wynn said everyone went all Mariah Carey on you. See, there's so many mentions in this.
Yeah.
It's so random.
Yeah.
What's with this episode? This show, especially this episode.
Siobhan and Livewire were great together.
Oh, they were so good together.
Yeah.
And then it was nice too, because they're the two non-aliens we've had.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we've had a few non-alien villains, but here's another one.
And I did really like the deleted scene, because one nitpick you had was that later on she ends up saying, I like my powers, I want to keep them, but she still tries to fight them, and we're like, but if you kill the person you're mad at, the curse breaks.
But a deleted scene does acknowledge that she plans not to go after Kara anymore, just Cat Grant.
And then she says, alright, let's kill Supergirl.
Well, she doesn't know.
It would have been so funny if she got to kill Supergirl and she's like, what the hell, my curse broke, my powers are gone.
And honestly, it's nice to have a lighthearted, like, this is a big episode because it fixes Kara's reputation, which is a little bit of a cheesy scene, but at least that plot's done with.
I quite liked it. She jumped in front.
I know, I like the scene. I just think some of the bystanders' acting was a little off. But yeah, that was an alright scene.
I like that for once the firemen did something.
Yeah, I know. But it's nice to have it because it's a fun episode, but it's also kind of doing its own thing because we've got 2 episodes left, and as the cliffhanger implies, that's the last 2 episodes of the season. So, you know, we had one last go of just fun episode. Yeah,
the ending does still continue on the story of the season.
That's true, because we haven't really touched upon the main season story for a while.
Yeah, so but finally Myriad has happened.
Yeah, and it was just great seeing Barry's interactions with, like, not just Kara, but also Wynn, and, you know, doing lots of little references to things he's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode also... So, we do have to talk about one thing. This episode did air before a Flash episode, which will actually... The very next Flash episode we're going to watch, does explain where Barry gets here. Now, we're going to watch that next, but this is, again, while you use an actual list and not just go with air date order, because this episode aired almost just over 2 weeks before the corresponding Flash episode. And you might think, oh, maybe it was a bit of a break. No. There was Flash episodes that took place. There were Flash episodes that aired that were completely irrelevant. It was like 2 more Flash episodes, then we get to the one that explains it.
Yeah, so people are left wondering, how the hell did he get here?
Yeah, especially since you notice he's got the tachyon device, which, again, that would kind of mildly spoil the last episode. Reminder, the last episode we saw was when he got the tachyon device by going back in time to see Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
But this episode first aired before that. This, again, is why you don't use air date orders if you're rewatching this show. You don't use air date orders. Look up a list online.
Unfortunately, if you were watching it on TV for the first time, well, you're stuck with the air dates.
And there would have been... Well, also, I wonder... I'm sure they would have advertised it as a crossover, but if you didn't know that, it would have been so crazy too.
Yeah.
Especially since, although we had... Here's the thing. Like I said, in Flash, we had a brief moment when he was traveling to Earth 2 and you could see Kara. So that was the first confirmation. But on the Supergirl end, we've never had any confirmation that these shows are connected or not connected in anything.
Well, that's because at first it was on the other network.
That's true. I do wonder at what point they realised the next season would be on CW.
Yeah, because once they realised that, that's when they probably decided to have a crossover.
That could have been why they decided to put Barry in and why it's so late in the season. But it's a smart idea. We've got to build up Kara, then we get to have a crossover. And we're only 2 episodes out of this to go with this season. But yeah, we'll delve into more of the channel changing later. But again, Livewire is a fun villain, and this isn't the last we're going to see of her. She's just a fun villain. Siobhan was alright. Livewire is more fun. Cat Grant, that I also like, because it usually, if Livewire's around, you usually get a lot of good Cat Grant moments.
Oh yeah, and we had great moments of Cat Grant giving Kara love advice.
Oh, that was so good.
It reminds me of the one where she gave her anger advice.
I know, Cat Grant's just so good.
Yeah.
Oh, Cat Grant, you were so good.
And then Barry also gave some advice about taking things slow as Supergirl and being patient, but then he said, but as yourself, don't go slow, go after what you want. And then in the end, we saw she finally made a move on James, and then that's when stuff went to shit.
I do like, there's a very clever thing. When Barry first shows up, and he's like, oh, he's mentioned superheroes, right? To see if Kara knows him. He doesn't just mention, like, Green Arrow and Black Canary. He mentions Zoom. That's clever, because that also reveals to Barry he's not even on Earth 2.
Yeah.
Because if he was on Earth 2, then someone would know the name Zoom.
Well, if he were on Earth 2, people would know the name Flash, just he would look different.
That's true, and they would know the name Green Arrow, but, well, whatever. But it was still a clever thing to do.
Is a Green Arrow on Earth 2?
There was a slight reference of it in the episode where we went there.
Oh.
Yeah. But no news about the other one. Well, actually, let's not get off track.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. But that was a nice little moment. And again, but yeah, like I said, it was so out of nowhere. If you didn't know a crossover was coming, which, to be fair, this is one advantage to watching things not live, is as well as getting a list, you aren't probably as exposed to advertisements. So if you're not actively looking online all the time, you're not going to know this is a crossover.
Yeah.
There's nothing that hints at it. The episode for the first amount of 5 minutes starts off like a completely normal episode.
Until suddenly she falls
out and then just boom, Barry, what?
Yeah.
I love it. It kind of reminds me of like, actually, we've only seen this happen once in the crossover with Vandal Savage, but there is a running trend of like whenever we have a crossover with Arrow, like Arrow's always in danger and Barry quickly saves him. So it's kind of like that again. He always enters a crossover by saving the other hero.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, but that's a funny way to put it. But yeah, obviously we love this. I'm giving this a
8.5. It's as high as I'll go.
9. I'll just go 9. It's not a crazy boom bang crossover, but it's such a good one.
Yeah.
It's such a good one. Exactly what you need before the last 2 episodes as well. Oh man. But enough about that. What's the next episode called?
Myriad.
Well, we don't need to tell you what's happening next time.
Yeah.
We
saw the ending. Myriad has started.
Non's here.
All we know is everyone is walking somewhere.
Yep. We'll more about that next time. We will see you next time for more Supergirl and Flash and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.